Good evening, Tallahassee, and welcome to FSU Weather. I'm student meteorologist Mike Lonan, and it was a really hot one out there today. Currently, we're at 95 degrees as of 6 o'clock, but we did get up to the century mark today of 100 degrees earlier this afternoon at around 3:20. Now, as we go into satellite and radar, you can see mostly clear skies. That's what allowed us to heat up into those 100-degree temperatures today. But off towards Jacksonville, you can notice how we do have some severe thunderstorms, again, due to the sea breeze. Those should die off as we head around to sunset and shouldn't impact our area at all. But nationally, what we're looking at is we're still looking at that ridge of high pressure down towards the southeast, but it's starting to break down, and it will allow this cold front to move into our region. But that cold front's going to weaken once it gets to our region on Friday, giving us a very slight chance of some storms. Now, for your 3-day forecast, it's going to be another hot one. And we did hit 100 degrees today, but not this weekend. Expect those drought conditions to really worsen as we head into the new drought monitor on Thursday. And we might get some rain in the forecast on that Friday. We'll give you more details about that. Now let's send out to Tyler with the Southeast.
Thank you, Michael. And the story for the Southeast, as it has been for the past week or so, has been these very hot temperatures. Here in Tallahassee, temperatures at 95 degrees, Montgomery 94. It's a little bit cooler in Jacksonville because of these pop-up showers, and it's got down to about 88 degrees. The hottest one, though, Charleston at 97 degrees. Looking at our dew points, New Orleans is at a dew point of 71, and all around the coast is usually where we're going to experience our higher dew points because the wind coming from the ocean brings in a lot more moisture. So 71 in New Orleans, 71 in Tallahassee. In Miami, dew point of 65. In the interior areas, though, we have lower dew points of 54 in Atlanta and 56 in Charlotte. So it's feeling a little bit more comfortable in those places. And our heat index, which shows what it feels like, what temperature it feels like outside. You can see Atlanta feels like 90 because of these lower dew points, but places like Tallahassee with the higher dew points feel like 102. Charleston feels like 100. And as usual, Miami's feeling pretty great with a heat index of 87 degrees. And our winds, highest winds, Shreveport at 15 miles per hour, Charleston at 14. Here locally in Tallahassee, we're at 12 miles per hour. As you move in the more interior areas, those wind speeds start to slow down. And we're not experiencing much rain in the southeast for the most part because of this high pressure system that is still dominating throughout the southeast. As we look at Arkansas and Missouri, though, we're having some flash flood watches. There's some rain starting to build up right now here on the radar south of Little Rock and in Memphis as well. And we're experiencing some flash flood watches and flood warnings along the Mississippi River. And looking at our next 24 hours, the rain's going to continue to build up in Missouri and in Arkansas, especially in the Little Rock area, and northeast Texas as well. But for the rest of the southeast, not much rain at all. Tonight's forecast, Tallahassee is going to dip down to 71 degrees, all the way down to 68 in Montgomery. Up in Nashville, we're going to get down to 74 degrees. We're going to be experiencing rain in Jacksonville, Nashville, and Little Rock tonight as well. Looking at tomorrow's forecast, Tallahassee is going to get up to 96 degrees. Charleston is going to hit all the way up to 98 degrees. A little bit cooler in those areas experiencing the rain. Little Rock at 85 and Shreveport at 91. But right now I'm going to pass things off to Michael to get our first look at the local forecast.
Yeah, thanks, Tyler. And it was a really hot Memorial Day weekend here in Tallahassee. 97 was our high on Friday, just 3 degrees short of our record. Almost got to 100 on Saturday and Monday. Sunday a little bit cooler at 96. But today we finally tied that record of 100. Got to 100 degrees at 3:20 earlier this afternoon. Again, tying that record set back in 2000. And it was also a warm start out there with our low at 72 degrees. Now, currently we are at 95, just cooling down from that high of 100 under those partly cloudy skies with a little breezy south-southwest wind at 11 miles per hour. A lot of places still very hot at this hour. 99 in Monticello. Valdosta is at 98. They actually did get to 100 earlier this afternoon. A little bit cooler down towards the coast because of that sea breeze. 90 in Carabel, 89 in Apalachicola. So another scorcher out there. The dew points, it actually doesn't feel that bad in the interior location. Dew points really low for this time of year, in the 50s in Bainbridge, Quincy, and only 59 in Quincy and 52 in Bainbridge. Now, once you get down towards the coast, humidity starts to become really a factor. 71 in Tallahassee, 74 in Carabel. So it's feeling very muggy, especially down towards the coastline, but up towards Bainbridge and Quincy, honestly not that bad in terms of your humidity. And that makes the heat indexes not that bad in Bainbridge and Quincy, very close to your air temperature. Meanwhile, down towards the coast, those heat indexes are a little bit higher, about 3 to 5 degrees higher than your air temperature, and the triple digits in Tallahassee, Monticello, and Valdosta. Now the winds are showing you why it's a little bit humid down towards the coast. We had that very weak sea breeze. The Atlantic sea breeze is more of an impact today, and that's why we haven't gotten much of those showers or thunderstorms in our area. A lot out towards Jacksonville and the Jacksonville area. And it's a little bit breezy, especially in Apalachicola and Tallahassee. As I said earlier, we do have those sea breeze showers and thunderstorms spawning off a few severe thunderstorm warnings out towards Jacksonville. But here, mostly clear skies, and that's going to be the story for the next 2 days at least, before a frontal system starts to give that very slight chance of some showers and thunderstorms. That's the frontal system currently in Dallas. High pressure will very weaken slowly, flatten out, and that front in Dallas is going to get to our region as we go into Friday, give us that 30 to 40% chance of some storms. That's honestly the most we can hope for. Honestly, just get some of those showers and thunderstorms, and that's what our 7 days forecast shows you. On Friday, get that chance, go down to 94, but then high pressure builds back in as we go into next week, and those temperatures go back up into the upper 90s once again. Now let's send off to Tyler with a look at our national picture.
Thank you, Michael. And as I talked about before, the southeast is very hot, but the rest of the country is a little bit more comfortable, especially in Denver at 50 degrees right now, as well as Salt Lake City at 59. Seattle's looking at temperatures at 62. The West Coast always is usually pretty mild no matter the time of year, all throughout the 60s in the West Coast. Boston is experiencing temperatures of 53 degrees right now because of the rain's cooling things down a little bit. Washington, D.C. is pretty hot as usual at 89 degrees. Looking at our dew points, the highest dew points are focused here in the southeast, so it's a lot more uncomfortable in the southeast. Tallahassee is a dew point of 71. Even all the way up to Kansas City, we're experiencing dew points of 70. But this frontal system right here, the boundary of our dew points, is kind of what's separating the high dew points from the low dew points. So places like Denver and Phoenix with low dew points are feeling a lot more comfortable this time of year. Our highest winds are right here in Denver, right next to this low pressure system. We have pretty high winds here in Kansas City and Chicago as well at 15 miles per hour. Dallas, Fort Worth at 18 miles per hour. On the West Coast also, winds picking up a little bit. So all throughout the country, pretty high wind speeds, except in the Seattle area, around 9 miles per hour. And the big picture here is this low pressure system and these fronts. They're bringing a lot of rain all the way from Texas, moving up to Kansas and east, all the way towards Pennsylvania. Here in the southeast, we're dominated by this high pressure system, so we're not experiencing as much rain. But also a low pressure system close to Denver is bringing rain to the Denver area as well, going through Tuesday. But a lot of our severe weather is focused here in Pennsylvania. We have severe thunderstorm warnings, and even right here, east of Williamsport, a tornado warning as well. A lot of these showers or thunderstorms are very intense here in the Pennsylvania region, especially north of Pittsburgh as well. And also moving through Cleveland, we have intense thunderstorms as well. And it's the same story here in Iowa, especially in the southern part of Iowa, on the border of Kansas and, Missouri and Iowa, and north of Kansas City. We have a lot of thunderstorms in this area, severe thunderstorm warnings. And looking at the big picture here, pretty much all throughout Oklahoma, Kansas, and St. Louis, we have tornado watches until 10 p.m. Central Time. And it's the same story here in Ohio and Pennsylvania with these tornado watches. Moving on to our flood alerts, there's a flood warning along the Mississippi River until 11:24 a.m. Central Time on Friday. Seems like the Mississippi River has been flooding constantly. And there's also a flash flood watch here in these darker areas in western Arkansas and southern Missouri. Looking at our next 24 hours, the rain is going to persist, moving eastwards out of Kansas City into Louisville. It's going to start dissipating a little bit over here in the Indiana, Ohio area as it continues to move eastward. But here in Arkansas and Missouri, the rain is going to persist through tomorrow. Looking at tonight's forecast, Denver is going to dip all the way down to 39 degrees. Very cold for the summertime, but here in the southeast, temperatures are going to remain high. Tomorrow's forecast, we're going to get up to 96 degrees in Tallahassee, 93 in Washington, D.C. Denver's going to stay cool at 54. But right now I'm going to pass things off to Michael with a look at Florida.
Yeah, thanks, Tyler. And down towards Florida, we are still in that dome of high pressure, also what we call the death ridge. It is very hot across a lot of the panhandle and the peninsula today. 95 currently in Tallahassee, got to that 100-degree mark once again. First 100-degree temperature since August 23rd, 2016, so it's been a while. Gainesville also got to 100 today. They got up to 101 at one point before a nearby shower and thunderstorm cooled them down to 97 degrees. And then as we go down towards South Florida, a little bit cooler down there because you're near the water, so only 83 in West Palm Beach. I'll take that right about now, and 85 in Miami. Now the dew point's not that bad down towards South Florida, on mid to upper 60s, which is pretty low for their standards. Now out towards where we have more of those sea breeze showers and thunderstorms, dew points are higher, 70 in Gainesville and 64 in Jacksonville. And then also slightly higher dew points in the Panhandle as well, with 71 in Pensacola and Tallahassee. So it feels very muggy out towards the Nature Coast and the First Coast in Gainesville and Jacksonville. And then down towards Fort Myers and Orlando, not that bad. And Miami's actually feeling pretty good compared to what it usually should be for this time of year. Now that makes the heat indexes a little bit unbearable in Tallahassee and Gainesville in the triple digits. But the heat index is down towards South Florida, very close to your air temperature because the dew points aren't ridiculously high. Now, with the winds, you can see how we do have that Atlantic sea breeze very dominant today in Jacksonville and in Gainesville, and high pressure situated just south of Apalachicola. Satellite and radar is clear. We'll just show you a quick view of those thunderstorms in Jacksonville, a severe thunderstorm warning just east of Gainesville, and that should die down as we go into the nighttime hours. Now, for tomorrow's forecast, do expect temperatures to be hot once again. Temperatures in the mid to upper 90s across a lot of the state. And if you want some relief in Florida, go down to West Palm Beach and Miami with temperatures only in the upper 80s. Now, let's send it and finish it off with Tyler with our second local.
Thanks again, Michael. And the Memorial Day weekend was hot as expected. We didn't quite hit that 100-degree mark over the weekend, but we got really close, especially here on Saturday at 99 degrees. On Monday, we hit 99 degrees as well, a little bit off from that 102 mark, but I consider us pretty lucky that we didn't actually hit those records. The Memorial Day weekend was a little bit more comfortable than it was back when we set those records. And looking at the current conditions, the sun's being covered by a big cloud, so it's a little bit cooler because of that, but still pretty hot, 95 degrees, partly cloudy. There's some clouds here in the sky. Winds at about 11 miles per hour, but it's still hot outside. 95 in Tallahassee, 99 in Bainbridge. As we go towards the coast, a little bit more comfortable at 89 degrees in Apalachicola. But the dew points at the coast are a little bit higher, so it's muggier as we get towards the coast, and it becomes less muggy as we move inland. So places like Bainbridge with a dew point of 52 degrees are going to feel a little bit more comfortable, even though the actual temperature is hotter outside. Tallahassee has a dew point of 71 degrees. That's why it feels so hot and so unbearable here right now. Looking at our muggy meter, they're feeling really dry and comfortable in Bainbridge and Quincy. Pretty humid here in Tallahassee, and most of the humidity is focused here in St. Mark's. Very humid there. Looking at our wind speeds and directions, winds are highest here in Tallahassee at 12 miles per hour, 14 Apalachicola, but nothing too fast for the Big Bend region right now. There's not much in the way of rain as well. This high pressure system is keeping the rain at bay in the Big Bend region, but we do see some pop-up showers here in Jacksonville, as Michael mentioned earlier, and in Lake City and Gainesville as well. Zooming out, the low pressure system is what's bringing most of the rain for the midsection of the United States, bringing all of these severe storms as we move all the way from Texas up to Kansas, east towards Pennsylvania. And looking at the next 24 hours in Tallahassee, we're going to keep this, the skies clear for the rest of tonight and through tomorrow morning. Maybe a chance for some pop-up showers as we go through the evening, but it's probably going to be about the same story, the same weather that we've been experiencing today for tomorrow as well. Looking at tonight, we're going to dip down to 71 degrees, going to keep the skies clear. It's going to be no winds, really calm, cloudless skies, so it's going to be very comfortable night tonight. But going into tomorrow, 98 degrees, it'll be mostly sunny. But if you want to head to the res tonight, 98 degrees, and But that's all the time we have for today. Make sure to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and you can always watch us live on FSU Weather on YouTube.